Welcome back to Everlasting Summer. I'm not even going to bother to mention a number, as I don't know. And what do you suggest we do next? Hi, Katie. To wait and see how things will turn out. Yes, you can't change anything, I mumbled. Anyway, it's dinner time. She smiled merrily and waved her tail. Didn't you go to look for something? I didn't find anything. I had no time. I saw the lightning and came back at once. Let's go. She went in the direction of the canteen. She'd better stick with me. It might be that there was no pioneer at all, and if I wasn't the only one who can see him, then there would be less grounds to doubt my sanity, which was not feeling very secure lately. Yulia sat down at the table and looked at me. So? What? Dinner. Yes, what about it? I yawned. The time was long past midnight. By the way, how did you open the canteen? You've got to have the skills. No need to continue with this topic. Maybe it's better to go to sleep. Cook, now, she said in a dictatorial tone. In a tone. Me? I don't see anyone else around. Oh, okay. I slowly walked towards the kitchen. Because of all the talk of food, I suddenly felt hungry. Found a carton of eggs in a fridge and called out to Yulia. Hey, how about scrambled eggs? Well, maybe. I started cooking. Funny the way things turn out. Bizarre and incomprehensible events are happening to me, and yet I'm just standing here making dinner. Just hoping for the best. It's a typical Russian feature, yes. Nevertheless, I'm quite sure that nothing bad will happen. And in case of unexpected problems, Yulia will protect me. Although she says that she does not know much, in a critical moment I can certainly rely on her. There is simply nobody else to count on. Just yesterday, nothing was up to me, but at least I had a slight idea of what was happening. However, now, the only thing left to do is to comfortably lean back in a chair and wait for the installation to be finished. Make me hungry, game. Jesus, I just started recording. I added grated cheese, mayonnaise, salt and pepper, and poured the well-stirred mass into the pan. I also found a salami in the fridge and a loaf of bread on the shelf next to it. Soon we were sitting in silence and eating scrambled eggs. Yummy yummy! It's nothing special. Ordinary bachelor-style dinner. I don't know about you, but I wouldn't eat dinner as scrambled eggs. Never tried anything like this. Probably better than mushrooms and nuts. That's enough, Yulia answered angrily. When we finished our dinner, I said, Tell me something about yourself, though. You probably have nothing to tell. Oh, tell me something about yourself, though. You probably have nothing to tell. Probably. How long have you been here? I don't know. A long time. But are you mostly human? Well, very likely. Then how can you be at several places at the same time? It's hard to explain. I don't really understand it myself. Let's assume that here and now, in front of you, I am the only one. I could accept such an assumption. In the end, although the fact that Yulia had many faces was just one of my... What the hell am I reading? In the end, although the fact that Yulia had many faces was just one mystery among many others happening here, it was definitely not the main one. At least that's what I thought. Well, let's assume that. And what do you know about this world? I can read and write, if that's what you mean. She laughed. No, not exactly that. Do you know where this camp is located? No. Then maybe you know that I'm not from here. Not from this time. Not from this reality. Well, I know, but not any details. If I ask you what the year is now? I can't answer. I took a deep breath and stared out the window. In general, you can assume that there are some things I know more about you, and some I know less. So what should we do? As I told you before, just wait. Wait, and what are we gonna do? do you want to do? I don't know, but forgive me. I don't feel like climbing trees. Okay, okay. Then maybe you will tell me something about yourself. Not now. As you wish. So what then? I don't know. Maybe just sit and wait. I don't mind. But that's so boring. I don't see any alternatives. So let's go. Come on. She thought for a while. I looked keenly at Yulia. Looks like she really finds everything happening here amusing. Moreover, the current situation doesn't seem strange to her. According to her, there's nothing unusual about it. You know, everything that... I turn away for 1 second, and I get a wall of text. You know, everything that's happening is not quite normal to me. I don't even understand why I'm not currently hiding somewhere under my bed, trembling at every sound. Turns out you are brave. I said nothing but merrily smiled. I've got an idea. I looked at her with interest. No, I forgot it again. Yulia scratched her cat ears. Ah, just remembered. Let's go swimming. Now I stared at her in disbelief. Maybe it'd be better to go to sleep. Oh, come on. She pouted. Indeed, the day had been hot, and I was soaked with sweat. It's much easier to fall asleep in this heat when you are clean. Okay, let's go. A few minutes later, we were at the beach. I lazily sprawled on the sand and looked at the river. I immediately felt completely exhausted. You know, I don't actually like swimming. Meaning, you don't know how to swim? Yulia sat next to me. Well, it's not that I don't know how, or not that I don't know. Anyway, that doesn't matter. The Pioneer is fine, but how could the whole town disappear? The train's still there. I told you before. I don't know. Let's go swimming. I don't want to. I never liked to reveal that I'm a lousy swimmer. Oh, come on, stop it. You can splash in water near the shore. Okay, wait. I'll go get my swimming trunks. But Yulia seemed to not hear me and started to undress. Am I gonna have to do some editing? What? Are you going to swim like that? Yes. Anything wrong with that? I turned away at the right time. Aren't you shy? I tried to speak as calmly as possible, but the reason I did not look at her was because my face was burning, rather than out of politeness. Shy about who? You? She laughed. You know what? I turned around. Yulia was already in the water, up to her neck. Come here. I decided that nothing bad would happen if I stayed in my underwear. I undressed... What the hell, Semyon? I undressed and entered the water. Grr, it's cold. Move around and you get warm, like me. She started to jump and wave her hands in the water. I still felt awkward. You've gone red, Yulia said excitedly. Of course I am. Next to me there's a naked girl, or at least a female humanoid. And that's enough. Aw, she likes you. Thank you for censoring it for me. I turned around and at the same moment I felt Yulia hug me. This is also part of your program? I understood that I was saying complete nonsense, but nothing more meaningful was coming to my head. I just realized, I guess going swimming kind of takes up the theory I had about her being the robot. What? Well, it's, you know. Suddenly realized that I was being hugged from behind by a naked, omnipotent being, which is able to exist in multiple realities simultaneously. My brain was instantly overloaded by errors about the lack of system resources. Here it is, a blue screen of death. Out of RAM! I still don't have eyes! My legs buckled, and I started to go under the water. Yulia held me up. This is very loud music. There's no need to drown yourself. I turned my headphones down a little bit. She was still hugging me. I felt it even stronger. Felt what? What are you going to do? Swim, obviously. So that means you're not suggesting anything? I tried to say Jesus Christ, Semyon, you couldn't be any more awkward. I tried to say it with a calm expression, but it did not turn out very well. Like what, for example? Well, even though you don't remember much, you essentially behave quite reasonably. So you should understand. Well, I don't know, she said slyly. Suddenly I felt something twisting around my thighs. Aw, yeah, you know what's happening. I tried to pull myself away, but Yulia held me tight. Also, motion physics in the water are very different from on land. And now I'm reading a porno, aren't I? It's just my tail. That's not my tail. A tail. Don't you find it strange that you have it at all? What, you don't like my tail? If you step on my tail, then you're gonna get hurt. Wait a minute. I paused for a moment, trying to phrase the thought I just had. So, you've seen that series too? What series? The one you just quoted. It's just... She suddenly stopped and thought. Don't people say that? Some kind of saying. So you don't know where it's from? No, and who cares? Yulia laughed. What is that from? Does anyone know? Her tail continued to probe my body. Okay. Could it be that Yulia still has memories about her time before the camp? Maybe they're hidden somewhere, or suppressed. And this is what you're thinking about at this moment, Semyon. She got that quote somehow. Of course, maybe she heard it from one of the pioneers. But isn't it too early for that show to even exist? The only conclusion is that Yulia seems to be a prisoner in this camp, the same as I. Just a more mysterious one. What happened next happened by itself. Even if what I was going to do was dangerous, in the end, I'm a red-blooded man. Ah, yeah. At that moment, Yulia was not an all-powerful being to me. I was holding an ordinary girl in my arms. At least go on to the beach, like, oh. I brought the sleeping Yulia to my cabin. Oh, okay. I like how they just skip over all the stuff so I don't have to basically read porn. That comes when I play Nekopara. I've seen screenshots of that game. She was surprisingly light. I put her on a bed, collapsed beside her, and closed my eyes. But all my attempts to get to sleep failed. I felt a terrible thirst. A type of thirst. Oh, like actually thirsty. Quietly, so as not to wake Yulia up, I got out of bed, pulled on my shorts, and went outside. On the way to the washstands, I thought about everything that happened. I didn't care about whether it was right or not. No, that wasn't the main issue. I decided that I just didn't have any other choice in that situation. Yep, I had no choice but to have sex with her officer. Who pulled down the flags? I just noticed that. More important are the possible consequences. Even if Yulia was a little different from me, we could say she was closer to who or what was behind all this. Just because she knows more than me. Which means, however, blindly assuming or drawing conclusions about anything is a difficult task in this camp. I was sure of that by now. No. I quenched my thirst and washed myself. Why did I read it like that? I quenched my thirst and washed myself. I was going back to the camp leader's cabin, whistling a piece from Pure Grint by Grieg, when somebody called out to me. How did you... I jumped on the spot, turned and saw the silhouette of that pioneer. There was no chance of seeing his face clearly in this darkness. So, it's you again. Who, me? Not in the sense that I am the one that I... What? Not in the sense that I am the one I thought... Not in the sense that I am the one I thought you... Not in the sense that I'm the one that I had thought you'd already... you have already seen. But in a sense of who, in fact... I don't know what the fuck he's saying. I don't understand. Maybe if he had better grammar, I'd understand. I remember that Yulia told me that he can't do me any physical harm, so I calmed down a bit. Oh, whatever. What the fuck are you doing, Spirit? Oh, whatever. Besides, I saw how you were getting it on back there. Aw, yeah, you jealous! That gave me the heebie-jeebies. You watch me have sex with Yulia? No. No matter how fantastic a situation is, it's always frustrating when you're caught doing something so intimate. So intimate. So soft. Didn't anyone ever tell you that it's not nice to spy on people? You're upset. No, why would I be? I snorted and half turned towards him, trying in vain to see his face. And what has the cat-eared one told you? That I'm a good lay. She has a name. I felt a strong attachment to Yulia, so I didn't hesitate to stand up for her. A name? And what is it? An almighty observer? The double-faced Janus? Janus? What? Yulia, I said a bit uncertainly. Yulia? He started laughing like a horse on meth. That sounds interesting. And who gave it to her? You, probably. Fine. Tell me what you want and get lost. Okay, your majesty. Just don't be angry. He bowed awkwardly. The sight was so grotesque that I even shuddered. And what has the so-called Yulia told you? I decided there was no point in hiding the information I'd found out recently. She told me that there are many other camps, that you are the same as me, and that after 7 days we leave and never come back. It was disgusting for me to be in the same boat as him, but a fact was still a fact. Yes, that's about right. And what did she tell you about herself? Do you think it's any of your business? Besides, surely you know everything without me. Yes, I know something. I've dealt with her before. That cheating bitch. His tone was so disgusting that I didn't even want to continue this conversation. Well, if you have nothing more to... No, wait. No, wait a minute. I haven't finished yet. Now what? Want me to tell you what she's hiding from you? Go on. I was sure that Yulia had no secrets from me, but in my situation, any information could be useful. Never come back? No, they do come back. And you come back. At least you did before. I don't understand. I did tell you that you had already been here, so after 7 days, it doesn't matter whether you leave on a bus or fall asleep in the forest. You will find yourself sitting in the 410 again. But how? She told you that we didn't just disappear, right? I did not answer. Well, I can't be sure she is lying. Maybe she just doesn't know everything. But what I said is true. You and I were here many times. Of course, I've been here more times, but that doesn't matter. Okay, then why don't I remember anything? You will remember them all sometime later. That's what happened to me. And you're telling me that there is no escape from here? Yes, I am. I remember you told me that what happened today had never happened before, right? True, this is the first time. And how can you explain that? I won't. You're hoping that something will change. No way it will. We'll see about that. I decisively turned and walked away. To my surprise, the pioneer did not even try to stop me. I returned to the cabin and found Yulia carefully combing her tail. You were talking to him again. How do you know? For a moment I had doubts. Just guessed. He is supposed to appear when you're alone. Yes. And? He told me that nobody disappears, that we come back. Yulia didn't answer anything. Is that so? To tell you the truth, I don't know. I sat on the bed beside her and began to think. I don't know how long we were sitting there, but soon I started to fall asleep. Let's go watch the stars. Let's go. I wanted to sleep badly, but at the same time I felt a sense of incompleteness, that I was hoping fresh air would clear my thoughts. Anne was hoping. A few minutes later, we were at the square. Okay, say hello to the happy face. I'm just trying to be safe. I sat on the bench, and Yulia put her head in my lap and stared at the sky. Isn't it beautiful? It is. We sat in silence for quite a long time. So what will happen tomorrow? What do you mean? Well, tomorrow is the 7th day, so it's time to leave. Do you want to leave? Suddenly I was struck by a realization. I have heard this question many times before. According to you and him, even if I don't want to, I must. So let's leave. She smiled. Will you come with me? Of course I will. After all this, you must definitely marry me. Ha! I don't know of a single administration that would register marriages with catgirls. Maybe in Japan. So we'll look for one. Okay, seriously though, what will happen tomorrow? In the evening the bus will come. You sure about that? Absolutely sure. It always comes. And we will take it. And then? Why are you asking all these stupid questions? Yulia protested. How should I know? How should I know? Well, make a guess. And we will go back to your world. That would be... I stopped. We'll see. I sighed. And what about you and your many selves? I only look like this here, right? Over there, I will just be regular me. Sure, with cat ears and a tail. Yulia hit me painfully in the ribs. You be careful. Where her head's at, she could do serious damage. Hey, I'm just joking. Maybe without a tail, she said sadly. No, I like it. Don't think anything like that. She said nothing, just closed her eyes. And what's it like over there? It's different. That's the best way I can put it. Some things are better, some are worse. We've got internet. I chuckled. And what would I do there? Well, I don't know. Let's solve the problems as they come. Alright. We sat there for a long time, talking about all sorts of foolish things. Finally, Yulia said, "Let's go sleep." Yes, good timing. I felt a wave of terrible fatigue. Tomorrow is time to pack our things. But I have nothing to pack. How about that? He has nothing to pack. But you know what? I have. For example, wait, did I say that out loud? I thought that. Oh no, I said that out loud. For example, I googled good-naturedly. I just can't imagine what she's planning to take. What about my supplies for the winter? Apples, nuts, mushrooms? Do you really think you'll need all that? Of course. Whoa. She jumped up and looked at me sternly. I'm going to sleep. You can do whatever you want. With these words, Yulia marched briskly towards the camp leader's cabin. Hey, I rushed after her. After entering the cabin, Yulia immediately undressed, snuck into the bed, and pulled a blanket over her head. I didn't mean anything like that. If you want to take your stores, let's take them. In the end, they could be useful for us, especially in my situation where anything could happen. I was just joking. She peeked out from under the blanket and stuck out her tongue. And now sleep, commanded Yulia. I didn't mind it, so I undressed, laid down beside her, and we fell asleep holding each other. Aw, no round two? Aw, that's cute. We went on the epilogue for like 4 episodes, though. I had a strange dream. No, of course being here in this camp was extremely strange by itself, incomparable with any normal nighttime dreams. However, in this dream, everything seemed so real that... But when I woke up, I couldn't remember a thing. There were only vague images of a long driveway, an old rusted bus, the rickety gates of the camp, collapsed statues of pioneers in an abandoned square. I ran through Semyon back and forth, as if trying to find someone. But exactly who remained a mystery to me. Ah, that was bright. I have an LED screen. That was very bright. Give me a second. When I woke up, the sun was already setting. My eyes actually hurt from that. A bright sunbeam was lighting up the dust drifting in the silence of the room and painting it with all colors of the rainbow. Rainbow. Reflections on the glass took on different outlines. Look from one angle, and it's just a spot of sunlight. Look from another, and it's a pirate waving his cutlass. A crazy imagination. I stretched lazily and yawned. Aww. Turning to the other side, I saw Yulia sleeping peacefully next to me. Good morning, said Yulia without opening her eyes. It's daytime already. Morning starts when you wake up. Yeah, I gotta tell this to my friends, as I wake up at weird times. You're talking just the same way I did before. So now you've changed your mind? I cannot do that voice. Can you leave me alone for 5 seconds, Spirit? Christ. Where are you? There you are. Well, I don't know. During the last week, I got used to getting up in the morning. That was not entirely true, because I didn't always wake up with the sunrise and regularly missed the lineups. You want to say that you've changed? She giggled. I think any man in my position would change, at least a little. It seemed quite natural to me. Yes, perhaps. I won't argue. A long silence followed. The kind of silence where you are not tortured by the need to say something just to break the oppressive awkwardness. This silence could say more than any words. Well, we're leaving today, I asked finally. I think so. You think? You mean you're not even sure? Not completely. This is happening for the first time. You mean the disappearance of the pioneers? Not just that. She got out of bed and started to dress. Yeah, thankfully that picture she was dressed, or else you would have just gotten probably a black screen with me reading. I looked at her mesmerized, unable to look away. What are you looking at? Get up. It's time to pack. You mean your berries and mushrooms? Of course. Yulia stood arms akimbo. Akimbo. At your sides, I guess? And looked at me resentfully. Do you want all my supplies to be gone? Of course I don't. To tell the truth, I didn't really give a damn about them. To be precise, I just didn't see the point in stocking food for a one-way journey. At least without a return ticket, for sure. A few minutes later, we were standing in the same forest glade, where the day before Yulia had been sprinkling a mushroom with sugar. She went behind a tree, threw aside the leaves, and pulled out a heavy sack. All this. This isn't all. This is just what's necessary. I couldn't put what I planned to say in a nice way, so I decided to say nothing. That's the right thing to say. The sack was filled with mushrooms, berries, apples, nuts, all mixed up. Trail mix. It's big-ass trail mix. I immediately had serious doubts about the fitness for human consumption of this assorted lot. Take it, said Yulia, pointing at a sack with an easy smile. Well, I hope you understand that I won't be able to... No, you're strong. Look how massive you are. Ladies. She used her hands to indicate the difference in our heights. I tried to lift the sack. It weighed at least 30 kilos. That's a lot. I don't know what that is in pounds, but that's a lot. Look, let's only take some of it. We won't be able to eat all of this anyway. I was trying to cheat. Why not? Winters are long in these lands. How would you know that? I guessed. I tried to make the most painful grimace I could. I can manage it to the square at most. Have mercy on me. Yulia thought a little. Okay, then throw out the berries. What a great solution. Get rid of the lightest stuff. However, I didn't object, and so put my hand into the sack. I can't say it got any lighter, I said when I finished with the berries. I don't want to hear it. I sighed and sank helplessly to the ground next to the sack. Then it's carried in turns. But it's heavy, exclaimed Yulia. That's why I'm telling you. I mean, it's heavy for me. As if it's light for me. I muttered under my breath, trying to make Yulia not hear it. Come on. Quit being a little bitch and just carry it, Semyon. It is light for you. Seems I should not underestimate her cat ears. True. Okay, let's come back here later. For now, it would be nice to have something to eat. Well, maybe. She smiled and held out her hand to me. Aww. The canteen was filled with the smell of fried potatoes. Yulia flitted around me, watching me cook. To tell the truth, I never found any special pleasure in doing this. I always wanted to start eating immediately, without waiting for all the ingredients to be prepared, the water to boil, the dumplings to float up. That's why I'm usually fine with eating sandwiches or fast food. You're doing so well. I told you there was nothing special to it. But... She tried to find words. She's not used to cooked food, you bitch. But you're doing well anyway. I'm glad you like it. Yeah, at least take a compliment. Come on. Of course I like it. Judging by the way Yulia was demolishing the potatoes, she actually enjoyed my simple culinary creation. Are you worried? Chew first, then speak. What a lout. Lout? Lout. You must behave in polite society. And what kind of society are we in here? Yulia spread her hands to the sides and laughed. This was true. The canteen was empty. Just like the whole camp. What do you think? Where are they all gone to? How should I know? She picked up the last piece with her fork and deftly popped it into her mouth. You miss them? Sort of. What about me? I'm better than any stray dog. Another quote. I didn't pay any special attention to it this time. Given that you're some kind of a cat, you've definitely got your quotes right. Are you feeling lonely? Well, I'm not alone here. Just the two of us. But if what had happened didn't happen, we may be... I stopped for a moment. So, in other realities, you and me weren't so... close? Yulia finished it for me. Yes. No. It's strange. Why? Well, because there are a lot of camps, as you say, and according to the theory of probability, which means that everything that happened within the last 2 days is really something exceptional. You say that as if it's bad. Of course not. I felt the blood rush to my head. Just strange. There are a lot of strange things here. That's why I use that word so often. Anyway, you're just nitpicking. Who, me? Never. She laughed. No, you are seriously nitpicking, especially when it comes to words. Why would I do that? I can't even imagine. You'd know better. Seems like for any of my arguments, she already had an answer prepared, as if she knew in advance what I will say. Forget it. So let's go. Where? I realized that saying this was a big mistake. Now she'll definitely drag me back to that sack. Back to the sack. Well, there was enough time till the bus arrives, so we could... Oh, right, the supplies! So we could... Yeah. I just scratched my chin and followed her. Epic fail. Just tell her you want to have sex. Just say it. I want to have sex. It's not that hard to say, Semyon. Carrying nearly 25 kilos is not easy, even for a short distance. I stopped every 50 meters to rest. Yulia hurried and encouraged me, but it was just making things worse. I don't know if I deserved a medal in some strange sack of Catgirl supplies short distance carrying event. I barely got through that in one breath. But about an hour later, the sack was transported to the bus stop. I collapsed beside it, exhausted. That's it. You're such a hero. See, nothing to be afraid of. My whole body ached, my muscles burned, and rivers of sweat flowed from my forehead, and I am over the time. Shit. Thank you all so very much for watching. I am excited to see the end of this. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.